a tech career in the future.
Nice. Very interesting. I like your story because it's very different what we used to hear about it.
Yes, I was 7, 8 years old probably.
Nice.
I was a kid, but I paid the bills.
Very nice. What about you, Wesley?
It's almost is the same thing as Leticia said. Uh,
Mhm.
when I was a kid, my uncle had a lot of computers on his garage, and
Mhm.
I was just a kid, and I saw a lot of computers, and those machines are so interesting, and I have I ever had a lot of curiosity, right? Like a scientist mind, you know. And from this, I was always searching for this, looking for computers and try to understand how the computer works and in the almost in all possible low levels, for example, how the processor works, for example, and the chips, how the computer chips works as well. And I started, and we have the internet, right? And I research a lot of this subject even before my graduation as well. I When I started my graduation, I already had a lot of knowledge about the subject, and from this, just a continual search for this subject and investing on my career and it's good. It was good for to me because I discovered my interest in job field uh, that is computer, right?
Mhm.
Very soon, and it is helps a lot because if you see the people around us or the people, they have a lot of difficulty to discover what they want to do in their career, right? So if you discover it soon, will help you a lot to grow up in your career. And of course, there was a lot of different motivations. I ever wanted to create some projects, and uh, I like it a lot of the artificial intelligence, even before the ChatGPT. Uh, anyways, I think that it is so many uh, reasons for me to search the computer field, but uh, my first contact was some kind of magical interaction, right? When I saw those computers, it's like Leticia said, is like a magic, right? You when I was a kid, just like a magic. Oh, what is this device? Then I saw the games and the possibilities, right? And was a lot of magical. And from this, I invested my time on this and my curiosity on this.
Very nice. Yeah, it's awesome when we can discover and know what we like when we are kids and we take it all the way in our life as adults because it's hard. Not everyone, even as an adult, knows what he really likes and knows, oh, okay, I want to work with IT. I want to work as a in marketing. I want to work with as a teacher, for example. I consider myself and us here very privileged to know what we like and to have the opportunity to pursue that because obviously not everyone has these opportunities. Not I'm not telling it's easy, obviously, obviously it's not, but just to know when we know what we want, it's easier to pursue this path. And we were talking about ChatGPT not last immersion, a few immersions ago, and I remembered about it. I remember about you, Wesley, because today I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw this video about this guy who was using ChatGPT to help him to know what to cook for the week. Okay, I'm gonna prepare my meals. Okay, ChatGPT, please give some ideas to prepare meals with, I don't know, chicken, rice, beans for 5 days, 2 people. I want to be high on protein, low on carbs, and the ChatGPT gave so many options, and I think it's very interesting because it's very useful. It's very fun. That was what we were talking about a few immersions ago. And there are a lot of ideas that can help us. I love it. So as for me, my experience with IT, when I was a kid, I was very interested to know how things work and why they do what they do. And I watched a lot of YouTube videos about this guy. I don't know if you know, guys, it's called Vsauce. And it explained, the channel explained a lot of interesting things about the universe, about technology, and I began to search on the internet. I began with Code Academy, the website, and I thought it was very fun. And since then, I've been searching for it, and I try to follow this path. That's it. Question number 2. Wesley, you didn't, but because you remember, but some woman you know, do you know woman who ever experienced discrimination in your workplace because of gender? You can say the workplace or college.
Okay. Fortunately, I don't see nothing about this on my front, right? But we can see on the market the woman can get their salary less than the man's salary if you compare, because there's a lot of things and discussion about this, because women have the how I can say, the gift to give a birth, right? Create a child, for example. And for some companies, this can be a bad thing, because there's a lot of costs involving, mainly in our CLT, because it increases the cost for the companies, and the how I can say, the guys who owns the company don't want to hire a woman because of this, right? So I think we have a lot of things to improve on this field, to avoid this kind of discrimination, right? Because if we don't have any woman in the society will collapse, right? So we have to solve this problem, because it is a problem, and I don't think laws CLT have will help, but are helping to increase the discrimination, because now the bosses don't want to hire the women, right? Or want to hire the women but give them lower salaries comparing with men's salaries. So it's a bad thing. I don't know how to solve this, but maybe the technology can help us to solve this. But in the reality, I agree that we have a lot of discrimination.
You brought a very important point. I saw a few years ago, I don't remember the country, I guess it was Iceland, that they made mandatory, I'm sorry, guys, it's a blank in my mind. Licença paternidade for men. It's mandatory. It's for 3 months, I guess. They made this as a law to diminish the gender gap. So okay, the woman has to stay a few months away from the job to take care of the child. Obviously, it's a child. How can a 3-month child can do anything? They can't. So it's mandatory. So when the woman comes back to work, the father goes away and gets this license to take care of the child. Even if they don't ask for the license, it's mandatory. So they have those 3 months to spend at home, not to help, because it's not a help. It's the obligation as a parent to take care of the child, the house, and this kind of stuff, because the very first months of the birth of the child, it's very harsh. And I don't actually believe that the technology can help, because I don't see as a technology problem. It's not. It's a government and the company's policies. But yeah, maybe it's something that they can do.
I think this suggestion is very good solution, because we are just creating a equation. It's not equation. It's some balance, because we are not increasing the cost for companies just for hire a woman. We are increasing the cost for both of them. So this can help a lot.
Yes, because women can get pregnant alone. So it's both of their responsibilities. So it's not, because it's like what you said, as a woman has the gift to deliver a life to the world, it shouldn't be seen as something bad for the company. It should be more, okay, I understand costs, etc., blah, blah, blah. But it's part of the world. It's part of the human race. It's part of everything. We give birth, and that's how it works. So it's very interesting, because it helps a little balance to diminish this gap. How about you, Leticia? Have you, as a woman, ever go through something bad, some situation that were discriminated? Because it's very hard to say. It's not always clear. It's not clear. It's something very, how can I say, smooth. You only, as for me, for example, it happens. It happened sometimes with me, unfortunately, but the coworkers can't see. It's something something very, very subtle.
Sometimes I'm not comfortable to talk about this, because I how can I say, suffer many experience in the technical college in my early career in the tech IT, and it's not clear. I understand this many years after, and I see other human co-works suffer this, but it's not the company, it's the other co-works, okay? It's like just the commenters, because, for example, she didn't understand in the first time she did do in the task specifically, and many other men comment in like a joke with this. And my sister sometimes talk to me when she found a new job, and she doesn't work with IT. She work in the health, and she has 3 kids. And many managers in this company ask her in different questions and the uncomfortable question about her kids, and she feels a lot. She suffered with the how can I say this situation, because she didn't understand how many people talk about this, and it's a complex. When you suffer this, it's a complex because it's a subtle. How can I say it in English? Okay, it's sometimes not clear. You understand it
Yeah.
in the same moment you suffer, but it's
Yeah,
hard.
yeah, that's exactly it, Leticia. You sometimes you can't understand right away when it's happening. You have to take time, and later, maybe days or maybe years, you understand what happened. It's very hard.
Yes.
Last year, I've been through such a bad experience at work because there was a guy. I worked in a room there was about 10 people with men and women. And there was a guy from the other department that he went to our room and he started to talk with my coworker, and he was really rude with everybody. Nobody likes that guy, but he was really rude. And this girl, she was very shy, and he went to her and he was talking very loud, and everybody in silence, and he was arguing with her because she did something and he believed that that was not the way, and she was getting very shy, and he was in front of her computer and he was doing like this and yelling at her, and everybody was quiet, and I saw that happening. And I entered the conversation because I was very uncomfortable. It was not my my place to chat about the work and stuff, but I entered the conversation because she was feeling, I saw in her face, she was getting like this. And no, it was very bad. And I entered the conversation and I started to understand what was happening. And he went to me and he began to speak even louder, and he was very angry. And he said to me, "You're not understanding what I'm saying." And I said to him, "Oh, I'm understanding what you're saying, but you're wrong and you're not explaining it right to her. That's not what's happening. You don't know what you're saying. It's not your field, and she did it right. You're the one who is wrong." And everybody was on the computer, but it was like this. And he get very angry, and I was speaking to him, and he kept saying, "You're not understand what I say. You're not understand what I'm saying." And a coworker, a man, he just said to him, "Oh, I guess she's saying blah 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 blah." The same thing I was saying, the same. It was, he repeated my words. He repeated, I swear to you. And he looked to him and said, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense."
It's
Guys,
a common
guys,
example.
oh my God, I was so angry because I swear to you, he repeated the exactly words I was saying. He just repeated the exactly words. And he said, and he lowered his voice. "Oh, I do. Yeah, I understand now." And I go, "Oh my God, please." I was so angry about this. And when he left, I looked to my coworkers and everybody was okay. He's kind of crazy. But when other people see, okay, the guy crazy, blah, 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 but it's a very different experience because I was saying, my coworker, my woman coworker, she was saying the same thing. And he was very rude to both of us. And when a guy said to him the exactly same thing, "Oh, you're right. Okay, I get it." And he stopped to argue with us. He just stopped because he didn't validate anything we were saying. I felt so bad. I know he was the one, he was wrong. I know he was the one who was a terrible person, but it makes us feel sad because it invalidates what we gotta say. And even we know we're right, even I was very polite, though even though he was rude, I was trying to stay polite and not to hide the tone, but it's awful, not nice. And it was one experience that it's more recent, but there are a lot of things, things that happens daily that doesn't happen when you have a male coworker, for example.
This guy got some warning from his boss, or got fired or something?
Of course not. Of course not. It was not the first time he did something like this, and it was not the last. And it won't be the last. There are a lot of other people that do this kind of stuff, but it's very hard to see a woman who knows that she can stand up for what she's saying and confrontate, saying, oh, I forgot to tell you, I told him twice, please lower your voice. I'm right beside you. Don't have to yell. Oh, I'm not yelling. Yeah, you're yelling. Please lower your voice. It's just the two of us. The room is silent. And everybody was looking at me like, oh my God, you're speaking. Oh my God.
Maybe this guy have problems to respect women, because
yeah, he has.
When you was explaining, he don't hurt you, right? But when another guy explained something and they stopped it and oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the thing, Wesley, because I don't know if he even heard what I said, because he didn't want to hear. He just wanted to, okay, you're wrong, I'm right, I'm not hearing. But he stopped to hear when the other guy began to talk with him. He stopped and heard, because when me and my other coworker were speaking, he didn't want to hear. He just wants to answer and to argue and to speak louder. It's a very uncomfortable situation. It's bad.
It's bad because when we are working, even if we become upset about some subject or some task we are doing, we have to have emotional intelligence, right? We don't have to impulse our emotions and direct this for someone. It's very, very bad. You have to be professional, technical, right? All the technical knowledge that we have, and emotional intelligence. We have to have two of these fields developed in us. So
yeah,
I hope this guy will learn sometime.
I guess he won't, but that day later, when my boss arrived, the other coworkers told him what happened, and he looked at me and said, really, this happened? I said, yes. And he said to me, oh, he's very rude, avoid talking to him. That's what happened. I have to avoid talking to him because he's very rude. Okay. That's sad. So, Leticia, what advice would you give to younger women who are interested in pursuing careers in tech?
Oh, the advice, it's study English the first time. The first time study English, because I remember my first boss talked to me when I was 18 years old in my first internship, and he said me study English, but I don't understand it at the moment, and I dislike Portuguese in the class. And in my mind, studying English, it is just study a grammar, and I dislike this part, okay? And but now I understand the value about this, and in this time, didn't have many kinds of videos, translation books, and the other things how to learn this. I remember I learned this in F1 in the keyboard to read the helpers. Same things I learned, because it's totally different. And the internet has some blogs, a lot of in the English, and they don't have a translator. And I think the first advised. And the other, it's did more exercise when I was a teenager. Because I spend a lot of time in front of the computer, and in your posture, your backpack, it's the worst part in along the years.
Nice. I guess studying English is the best advice we have to give to other people who wants to start a career in tech, because okay, you can start working with tech without knowing English, but you can get so far only to a certain point. After that, you can't develop anymore in your career, because there are a lot of barriers when you don't know English, especially in tech, because any documentation you gotta read, it's in English. Everything's in English. And nowadays, especially, it's very common to have clients and coworkers from all over the world. So yeah, I guess it's one of the most important things. What about you, Wesley?
Some advices. Don't feel intimidated with difficulties, because it's normal. It's a job, and our careers, we have a lot of challenge in our career. So don't feel intimidated. I remember when I was in my graduation, our classes, our room classes was always full of men. If you had three women, is a lot, right? So don't feel intimidated with that, because women and men have the same, how I can say, mental capabilities, right? So I don't think it's a thing that our gender can be a barrier for someone. So it's just your I can say força de vontade. I don't remember the term in English, but just keep studying, stay curious, and as Leticia said, learn English, because English is the core of the how we can learn more and more about the tech, right? If you have a new framework, for example, JavaScript have a new framework every day, right? Maybe 100 every day. So if you want to learn about it, you have to know English, and because there's documentation, and you can just open the documentation, read how it works, right? If you don't want to learn English, you have to wait for the translation, and this you have a delay, and you will be delayed in your career. So it's a bad thing. So learn English, it's an important thing, and I think that's it. And stay always studying, because our career are always evolving, right? The technology itself is always evolving, so we have to stay always studying. If we are how I can say, a specialist on any kind of technology. For example, I know Spark, I know Python, because we use this on data engineer field for transform data, distribute data, data manipulation in general. So, but I have to keep, I have to stay curious, and always keep stay always studying, because, for example, I have certifications in AWS. It's a cloud provider, and the cloud provider itself is always evolving and launching new services, and we have to keep updated about these services, because our clients, they have different problems, and if you know about these services, we can help our clients, our customers, to solve these problems, right? So I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I guess you two guys brought some great advices. Study English and keep studying always. I would add something more that is don't give up, stay strong, because working with tech every day is a big challenge. And especially when you're beginning, it's very different from everything you've ever seen in school and this kind of stuff, because it's new languages. And a lot of new languages. So yeah, it's hard, but it's worth it. It's very interesting. It's very fun. I remember when I was able to write my first hello world. I was so happy because it's very fun. When I developed my first calculator and my first little programs, it's very fun because yeah, it's one of the first steps, the things that you do. But you have to write a lot of things in order to make it happen. So it's very interesting. And it's interesting as well to connect with other people, because when you study alone, it's a very loner path. It's much easier when you have someone else to share your difficulties and thank you. It's much easier when you have someone to share your difficulties and to share what you've been through, because when you find groups of people, and especially if you're a woman, for example, that's what we're talking about, find women so that inspire you, so you can see that it's a woman field as well. It's not only men that can work with tech and can be successful, because there are a lot of great women that they're very intelligent, they've done something, the great stuff, and find someone that inspire you in order to keep going, because even you're beginning and or you're right there with a lot of work, uh, years of work, you always face challenges. So get surrounded by people that's going through the same thing as you're doing, because it will help you not to give up. So when you find a group to help you to, oh, okay, don't give up, keep going, you can study this, you can try this way, it's easier to continue. That's it. Question number 3. First, we're beginning with some data. That is true. I don't know if you know, guys, but did you know that the technology field leads the areas with the greatest gender gap pay? The largest differences can reach a wage gap up to 63% higher for men. So 63, more than the double of the salary. It's the media of the pay gap between men and women. So big. That being said, Wesley, how do you think we can overcome this?
I don't know the reasons for that. If the reasons is just about the what we talked we spoke before about the gift the woman have to bring a life to the world, right? If this is the problem, maybe I agree with you. It's just a kind of create a balance to just give the same how I can say rights to men, so to help their wives as well. So, but if there is another reasons for this, I don't know how we can solve, because how how I can say, I said how, as I said before, the woman and the men have the same mental capabilities. Someone will prefer to search for creativity jobs like art, for example. Men usually do it as well, but women do this. I think more than men's, right? But everyone have their own capability. So I don't know how can solve this. But if the problem is just about the cost that increase the cost for company hire a woman, I think we have to balance the wage, right? The salary. So I think that's it. I don't know. I have to research more about this. The reasons, right? 63% is a lot of things.
Yeah, it's fine actually to, how can I say this? To answer something that have, oh, it's because women give birth, etc. This is one of the reasons that they hire more men in some companies, for example. Not all companies, of course, but when we have a company where we have 5 directors, for example, there are 4 men that they are directors and their wage is, I don't know, 20K. And when they hire a woman or promotes a woman as director, it can be, for example, 12K, you know, and they do the same thing, they develop the same responsibilities and stuff, and women tend to have lower wages. It's hard to, for, I don't know, it's hard for us who are here in such a lower position in companies to do something about this. But I guess we should, when I say we as a society, we should have policies as it's prohibited, for example, to have different salaries for the same position, of course, because you can't pay the same salary for a junior and a senior, for example. I'm telling the same position, a senior programmer woman and a senior programmer man, it's the same position. It should be mandatory to be paid the same wage. Do you agree, Leticia?
Yes, I agree with this, and the quality of the salary in the companies when they see about the levels of the jobs, for example, and in my opinion, I think the problems, it's not the capacity, okay? It's part of a lot of the company didn't see the diversity or anything involved this in higher values, for example. And in my personal opinion, I think the other problems when you talk the gap of the salary, it's because talk with money, it's a taboo in our culture, okay? And for example, I remember when I started in my career, it's a big problem to talk about money with a coworker sitting in my side, okay? Because there is many problems to talk with this, and for me, I don't understand this part, okay? Because we work together, we work to do the same things, okay? And there is a gap in the salary. But when you think about this, okay, the money in general, and probably in the companies, it's a secret, for example. In this process, when I have been at many interviews, I remember probably 2 companies said me, we have a policy about equality of the salary by the level, not the the orientation, the sex, and the other things involved. Okay, 2 companies. And probably I've been in interview for 40 companies in general, okay, because I didn't remember more, but more 10, more 20, and the 2 talk with me. And in the other companies, just work with your salary presentation. I don't know how can I explain. Okay, range of the salary. Okay, and pay with the range you follow. And I remember the other times people said to me, it's so higher your range of the salary. Okay,
Yes.
but I consider my experience and my time and my career in this range. Okay, it's your opinion, agree with it or not. Okay, but I think the other example, it's in my opinion, it's the taboo of the salary when you talk about the company.
Yeah, that's very important. I guess most of the people, they don't feel comfortable talking about money with the coworkers. And that's very bad because when we don't talk about money, it's not good for us as coworkers, because we people may think, okay, I'm protecting myself because the other coworker may feel jealous if I'm earning more than he is or she is, and the person will start looking differently at me. But that's very bad for everybody as a coworker, because when we don't know the salary that the others win, it's much easier for the company to pay for the same position for Wesley 10K, and for Leticia 4 or 5K, and Leticia may think, oh, okay, that's the range of the salary they pay here, blah 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 blah. And if Leticia may ask for a raise, for example, okay, I'd like for 6K, for example, because I'm working a lot and I'm doing everything that should be done. And the company may say, oh, but you're the one who earns the most here. It's so hard for us, because when people don't know what the others are earning in the same position, the company wins it's always on, how can I say, on advance. It's always on advance, because if we talk to one another, it's very easy to deal with the company and to talk about what we should earn and what we have to earn. Because in the last work I was talking to my coworker, and we were talking about taboos about money and this kind of stuff. And he worked in the company for 8 years, and he told me that he never knew anybody's salary. He didn't know about anybody. And we were talking, and I was new at the company. My salary was a joke. But we were talking, and I told him my salary, because I don't have problem with it. And then he told me his salary. He was a senior programmer. Guys, he was winning 3,500 reais. 3,500 reais as a senior programmer. I swear to you, as a senior programmer. And I told him, oh my God, you're here for so long. You're the best programmer here. He really was. Had you ever thought about asking for a raise or something like that? And he told me, oh, I have thought about it, but I guess they wouldn't give me because I'm here. And I guess they would fire me. They would never fire the guy. He practically developed all the systems they use. And I felt so bad. And I felt so angry because he worked a lot. He was really a good programmer, and his wages ridiculous compared to his capabilities, to everything he did. And there was the other guy that he entered the company for a year ago before me, and he was mid. He went, I guess it was 6 or 7K. He was mid, and he got to the company a year ago. And I didn't told him because I can't tell other people about other people's lives. Not my place to do it. But I got so angry, and I told him, guy, please talk to them. Go to the HR and talk to them, because you deserve at minimum the double. At minimum, you deserve the double. And that's about it. We have to talk to each other because, my God.
Did you understand the problem when you didn't talk about the money is taboo? Because you creating other person feels about this. You describe this guy and he too uncomfortable talk about money in his life and his career, okay? And it's if you compare with the question, he's a man. Imagine it's a woman. There is a lot of taboos involved this, okay? And you have a quality. It's not specific in the by the beach, okay? But the quality in the range of the salary, and you talk about this. The company talk about this. You put the all people in the same step, in the same value, okay? Independently, any cards involve this. Okay, sometimes I'm uncomfortable with this.
Yeah, it was very crazy, but it's crazy.
Okay.
Have you ever passed through something like this, Wesley? You or your coworkers?
Yes, I was thinking about it. I used it to be that guy who was earning a low salary. So in our work, we had a group. We worked together in a lot of projects, and there was one guy in this group that he already was working in Europe. And he got a lot of how I can say life experience, right? So we was talking about our salaries, and he got important paper. I think I can put that way, to encourage us. All the group encourage us to search for opportunities out of the company that we was working, right? So I am glad for this guy, and he helped he helped the group, all the group, to search a lot of opportunities, and everyone on the group are in another companies.
Nice.
And earning a lot of money, right? So I think everyone have to have someone to push us to search for a better to us, right? So I am very thankful for this guy. Is a friend of us, and he is in Europe again, and he is flying there.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, that's the great importance of connecting with people who works in the field, because that's what you said. Sometimes everybody needs a little push up to move, to go search for something better, or even to ask for a raise, for example. Because then I heard about this friend of mine that he got a raise. The company, he didn't have to ask, but the company got him a 1,000 raise. But yeah, that's it. He likes to work there, and he was happy about the raise. I guess I was more comfortable with this than he was, but yeah, he was happy. So that's it. My God, guys, I got so involved with our conversation that's already 8 o'clock and I didn't see. I'm sorry.
We speak a lot today.
Yeah, we speak
The
a lot.
subject was very interesting as well.
Yeah, thank you very much for the participation. I wasn't able to log in the back office to get the survey link, and I couldn't broadcast on YouTube, so we're recording. We have some problems, but that's okay. So I want to thank you very much. And if you want to send suggestions, for example, Wesley, do you have my LinkedIn profile?
No, I don't
No?
have.
Okay. I'm gonna send you here so we can connect, and you can send me suggestions there if you'd like. Just a sec. So
This recording we will send to YouTube.
yeah, it's recording on the computer, and later we will upload it on YouTube so
Okay.
everybody can watch it. So how was the experience, Wesley, talking about this? Were you uncomfortable? Or it was fun? Did you find it interesting?
Yes, the subject was a lot of interesting, and we can see the time passing, right?
Yeah. So I just send you my LinkedIn here, guys.
Okay.
For today, we don't have survey, but we'll do have next week. So you can talk to me there, and I will consider it for our next immersions. Okay.
Okay.
So
Leticia,
thanks a lot.
Leticia, send your LinkedIn as well. Let's connect, guys.
Let's connect. That's it. It's very fun.
Yes, just send.
Leticia is fast.
Yes, it's the open in the other
It's always
browser.
open. The LinkedIn is
It's
always
always
open.
It's the Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V.
Yeah. So guys, I hope you have a great end of the week. I hope you have a good rest. Leticia, you said you're a bit tired as well. And
No.
that's it. I hope we see each other next week, Wesley and Leticia. I really enjoyed
Yes.
talking to you. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you a lot.
Guys.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye-bye.